Bulldogs will host Murray State on Saturday at 4 Eastern on ESPN2. To ask a question for Coach Smart, please press *1 on your telephone's keypad now. And Coach, while we're waiting on those questions, if you could take a moment to comment on your team as you enter the home opener on Saturday.
Yeah, we're excited to have our home opener. I know our fans are really pumped. We're going to be naming the field after Vince Dooley, the legendary coach and athletic director. And I know there's a lot of people excited about this home opener just for that occasion alone. And Murray State's got a great program and a really good coach that I'm good friends with, Mitch Stewart. And they do a tremendous job there. They throw the ball around, and I know our guys are excited to get a chance to go out there and play them.
We'll start things off with Murray Poole of Bulldog Illustrated.
Hey, Kirby. I know before the season there were some concerns with the defensive line. Of course, how would you say they graded out that first game? I know you're happy, of course, the defense didn't give up a touchdown, but what about the overall performance of those guys, especially losing Ledbetter and Hawkins and Muckle, some of those guys from last year?
Well, the group we've got is getting better. They've grown up. I think they've got themselves into a little bit of better playing shape earlier in the year, playing with quickness. We still had some breakdowns and contain and a couple breakdowns in line movements where we got hit with some runs. So we got a lot of area for improvement. But I think overall they played really hard, and that's the one thing we talked about in that game is let the mistakes be on us, but you own your own effort, and I thought they played with good effort.
Thank you.
Next is Steve Moulton of WDVN.
Hey, Coach. Good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
From a tackling perspective, how would you evaluate how your defense tackled against Vanderbilt, Coach?
Good improve. We had some space tackling where we had guys reaching out, and not trying to tackle with their feet closed and wrap up. We had a couple plays where the back probably out-efforted us and, pushed the pile and continued to churn out yards after contact. And we kind of pride ourselves on, not giving up yards after contact. And their back did a nice job of doing that. So we got a lot of area to improve on tackling-wise.
Offensive line-wise, rushing for 325 in that opener, I would imagine you're pretty pleased with their performance, Coach.
Well, we got to protect the quarterback better, and we took some shots on the quarterback that were unnecessary. We had some ill-advised communication and busts that are not indicative of an offensive line that's played as many games and starts as these guys. So, again, I think they played hard and physical, but we got to play smarter and we got to protect better.
Thank you, Coach.
If there are any other questions, please press *1. So a follow-up from Murray Poole.
Yeah, Kirby, with Zamir White, he hadn't played a game since high school, and, everybody talks about when you come back from 2 surgeries like that, it could be a mental block or something, or you run tentative. We saw none of that. It looked like he was full throttle right out of the gate, and, especially with his quickness and power, too. And I know you've really got to be pleased. That guy seemed like he really wanted to play some football the other night.
Yeah, he really enjoys the game, and I think he was energized to get the opportunity to go out there and play. He's waited so long, and it's been such a build-up, so much coverage of it that I know he was excited to kind of break the glass and get started.
Right, and you've got 3 or 4 outstanding backs. You feel good about playing all of them, I guess, and it's up to the coordinator and you to see how you balance that act. Of course, Swift had such a great night, starting off like we thought he might, but it's going to be a fine line balance and getting all those guys playing time. They're all performing such a high level. It looks like right now.
Yeah, they contribute to the team in a lot of other ways. I mean, some of them help on the scout team, some of them help special teams. Some of them help in protection in the passing game. So they all have roles that they contribute to our overall team. And I think that's the key benefit is when you sell that to each guy, they understand there's skill development they need other than carrying the ball. That's just one of the traits we look for in a ball carrier is how they carry it is protection, route running, how do you assist others, and special teams. And those guys continue to develop in all those facets.
Okay, thank you.
We also have another for Steve Moulton.
Coach, I was wondering if you could speak on the development of Tyler Clark and where you think he has elevated in his game throughout his career, Coach.
Tyler's had he was thrust into a role of having to play his freshman year, was probably, not ready for that, but in our league, he had to go out there and play. And then his second year, I thought he had a really good year and really effective year. Last year, he was dinged up quite a bit. He had some finger and hand injuries, and this year's the verdict's still out. So we're excited for him this year to have his best year, and you certainly want to have your best year in your final year, and if he sets his mind to it and plays with reckless abandon, he can do that.
You mentioned on your opening comments about the field being named for Vince Dooley. Do you have a kind of a quintessential Vince Dooley story that you think of when you think of Vince Dooley, Coach?
I really don't. I mean, the biggest thing that sticks out is my wife worked in the athletic department before I was married to her, and she was always one of his favorite student athletes. He enjoyed watching her play basketball, so it was always unique. Once we got married, that he always came and told me that my wife was one of his favorite all-time players, and that meant a lot to me that he cared enough about women's basketball, to really watch her and follow her career.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Coach. Thank you for your time today.